Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by Mazen Muna, entrepreneur out of Milwaukee. He is someone that has contributed to the community of Milwaukee very much, with a prestige clientele and, just all around, just hard work, hard grind, man, boots on the ground type of man. He's definitely made his footprint in the community. With the help of friends, we were able to connect. So he's here with us today. So without further ado, how you doing, Mazen?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. And, like I just mentioned, you are someone that grinds. You are someone that boots on the ground, man. You've worked yourself up to be very much successful in this community. Well, I'm glad we crossed paths. You know what I mean? This whole platform is highlighting Milwaukee, and you're very much a part of that. But I'm grateful you're here, and you ready to jump in?
I'm ready to jump in.
Let's do it. So where were you born?
Born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What hospital?
West Allis.
Yeah.
West Allis Memorial.
Yeah?
Yes. I won't tell you the year, but it was just a few years back.
Oh, that's well, how was your childhood here?
Good. I grew up as an only child. My mom had 2 miscarriages after me.
Okay.
But I do have a half sister from my father's previous marriage. She lives in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Very nice lady. Love her to death. We talk daily.
Yeah.
She has 2 kids, husband. She's also hardworking, successful, good contributor to the people. Mm-hmm. And other than that, in our household, I grew up as an only child. So I didn't have many friends growing up. Mm-hmm. It was just me. So growing up, I used to take apart a lot of things and put a lot of things back together just to keep occupied, whether it was Legos or toys or whatever the case was. Yeah. I always liked to stay active, even as a kid.
What type of hobbies were you into?
Growing up, anything with wheels. That kind of stayed with me to this day. Yeah. I learned how to drive when I was 8 years old. Had a motorcycle.
Whoa.
Had a motorcycle when I was 8 years old, little tiny one. Just anything motorsports I loved. Here and there, I would watch a movie here and there, but I was never a TV guy. And really, just that's about it. Keeping organized, staying motivated, hanging out with friends, good friends, surrounding myself with good people, even from that age.
What school we went to?
I went to Grant Street School until the 3rd grade. And then I went to a school called Cooper.
Cooper?
Yeah.
My oldest went to Cooper. My wife went to Cooper.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this on 20th and Ramsey?
No, well...
This might be another Cooper?
No, it's 20th between Edgerton.
Edgerton, yep.
Right over there.
Okay, awesome, yeah.
Then I went to Shoals.
All right, got you.
And then I tested to go to Marquette High, which I went to Marquette High School, but the pressure and just not speaking down on Marquette, but the people there were on a different level, and we were just different. So I ended up going to Pulaski.
Nice.
And then I graduated from Pulaski.
Man, I'm sorry to think. You and my wife, man. My wife graduated from Pulaski.
Okay.
But she definitely went to Cooper. Man. Great schools.
Yeah. I left there, and then I went to UW-Milwaukee.
Gotcha.
And I started out pre-med, and then I decided I don't want to be in school for the rest of my life. So I switched over to English for 1 semester. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then I switched over to business. And then I started with marketing, and then I added finance, and I did a double major.
Oh, wow.
With finance and marketing while working full-time.
Man, you were a busy man.
Yeah, 18 credits, working 50 hours a week.
How do you feel that part of your life, what did it teach you about yourself?
The part at school or the part of working?
School and work, because it's a collaboration of...
I mean, I would go to school in the morning, leave school. I worked at the airport. I left school, went to the airport, worked until the last flight came in because I worked in the car rental desks.
Yeah.
And sometimes the flights would be delayed. 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, waiting for the people to come pick up their rental cars because you can't close until that last flight arrives. So oftentimes I would leave work, go back to the library at UWM to study.
Mm-hmm.
And the library was 24 hours. So I would go to the library, study, sometimes fall asleep at the desk, go to class, and then go back to work.
Yeah.
It was a 24-hour cycle oftentimes.
Man. So you said very much mechanical has always been a part of your life?
Yeah, not mechanical per se. Like I can't really fix an engine or do anything like that. I'm not good with that kind of stuff. I get the concepts and I understand it, but
Yeah.
I more so of just changing things, improving things.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the third grade, I would take Hot Wheels for the kids and paint them and charge them $0.25.
Get it.
Yeah, so like when I was a kid,
It was a businessman in kindergarten.
They're like, can you paint this Hot Wheel for me? Can you make it blue? And I'm like, yeah. So I take it home, paint it, and do what needed to be done, and give it back to them. So just fun stuff like that.
You know, through this college phase, you know, double majoring with finance. What do you feel was in that part the most difficult to overcome?
I mean, I didn't come from a background of anything finance or marketing. So the language of the lessons were difficult. I mean, this is all brand new things that I was being introduced to.
Yeah.
So I guess the most difficult part was just learning what they were trying to teach. And oftentimes teaching assistants came from different countries. So oftentimes they would have a heavy accent. So difficult material, plus a heavy accent, plus, I hate to say it, but boring teachers made it difficult to even want to be there. I mean, if I could do college all over again, I don't know if I would.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I 5 years spent at a university. It's not, universities, unless you're going in for a very specific field, like doctor, lawyer, accountant, scientist, mechanical engineering, things like that. If you're just studying a broad subject like business, for example, I think you can learn a lot more. As a matter of fact, you can learn a lot more
Hands-on?
Hands-on.
Yeah.
There are business professors that probably would fail at running a business. So I don't know if it was worth 5 years to have a piece of paper to say I can complete a project and stay focused on it.
Sure.
Companies like that because they can say that this person can be given a task and they can complete the task. But for me, where I ended up, I don't know how beneficial that was.
Yeah.
Only time really could tell.
Well, with that phase in your life teaching you so much, that's a degree that you can do a lot with. What was the first venture coming out of college with a degree like that you jumped into?
So I'll tell you what I did while I was in college. As I mentioned, I worked in car rental. I worked 3 years at Thrifty, 3 years at Alamo. After working a few months at Alamo, I was promoted to assistant city manager, where I was responsible at the age of 19. I had over 20 employees and a fleet of 500 cars.
Wow.
I would help order the vehicles. I would help send them off for oil changes. Trucks would come by and drop off cars directly from the factory because car rental companies used to get brand new cars, run them for 3 months, 6 months, or until they hit 26,000 miles, and then dump them off at the auction.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So I assisted with that. And then when I graduated college, I kept my car rental job managing Saturdays and Sundays. But Monday through Friday, I had a daytime job. My first job out of college was Boise Office Solutions, and it was selling office products.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
Yeah.
So I stayed there 6 months, and then I got an offer from American Express corporate card.
And
I worked for American Express for 3 years.
Yeah.
And great company. I love American Express. Great company, great culture, great employees, but the corporate world wasn't for me. So I ended up finding a little spot on Brady Street, 280 square feet, and I rented it before I knew what I wanted to do with it. I just knew that I was hungry to have my own business.
Yeah.
And I used to go to the parking lot at Walgreens across the street and sit in my car and just watch people. What would work on this corner? What's going to work on this corner? And one day I'm like, hot dogs. I'm like,
Yeah.
and when I told my friends and whatnot, they're like, wait, what? You're leaving stable life to sell what? So I figured I could catch people for lunch, I could catch people for dinner, and I can catch people after they left the bars.
Yeah, for sure.
As an afterthought. So I figured if I could make a space look good enough and sell a product that was good enough, that it would succeed. Well, it sure did. I opened April 1st, 2005.
No.
And we had a line out the door on day one. And it stayed like that. And then a year later, I opened up Marquette University Dogg Haus. A year later, I opened up on Wisconsin Avenue, a lunchtime Dogg Haus.
Wow, man.
The same year as that, I opened up another location, UW-M and Metro Car Wash. Year after that, I opened a restaurant called The Burger Joint on Brady Street. And it kept going. We had Brady Street, Marquette. I moved the Wisconsin Avenue location to Water Street, Cathedral Square. I know I'm missing one, and Water Street. So 5 locations. Then I was approached by an ex-student from Marquette who lived in Minneapolis, and he wanted the idea, and he's like, would you franchise it to me? So I said, sure. Let me talk to the lawyer and figure out how this goes. Well, franchising is very expensive.
Yeah.
To develop a franchise agreement, it's at least $100,000.
Oh, wow.
So we went the cheaper route and we did a licensee. So we sold the licenses. I was there for every opening, helped him out, and he opened 5 locations. It was Hudson, Wisconsin, St. Paul Skyway, Roseville, Minnesota, Minneapolis, and UW-Eau Claire. Yeah. So he had the western part, I had the eastern part, and there were a lot of good years in between.
Man, yeah, I'm about to call you a serial entrepreneur, man. That's literally so with the hot dogs. Man, really? It took off like that?
Within the first year, we were in the top 50 accounts for Vienna beef, and the letter from them is framed and hanging on the wall at the original restaurant. Oh. Within the first year, nationwide, top 50 accounts.
Now, with so much success with that, what drew you to what you have now, the business, Metro Car Wash and detailing?
Yep. I was a customer there. And my GM for the restaurants went there for a car wash one day with his own car. He had an Audi. And he came back and he discovered that there was a bottle of cologne that was missing from his car.
Yeah.
So he went back to the owner to express his disappointment. And the owner says, well, you know what? I don't even care anymore. This business is for sale.
Yeah.
So he came to me and I went in, had an agreement, and took over the space. And from that point forward, I mean, that was 17 years ago. So I took it over, cleaned it up, did a lot of work to it. And that was always my hobby as a kid, was I'd spend hours waxing, cleaning, buffing, just making my cars look like, if there was dust on the carpet, I would, super meticulous with cars ever since the age of 8.
So you feel that's why it resonated with you so much?
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard. You just have to have the ability to pay attention to things and make sure that you're addressing things with the proper methods, proper tools, proper techniques. A lot of guys say, "Oh, I can detail a car," but they're not. They're just moving dirt around.
How would you describe your work ethic?
I show up every day.
Yeah,
every single day. I don't care if I'm sick, tired, upset. It doesn't matter. I wake up every single day that I'm able to and show up. And first person there, last person out.
Yeah. Well, jumping from hot dogs to this, there's 2 different worlds. What were barriers you faced in transitioning into?
Well, I still have the restaurant on Brady Street.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, it's not 2 different worlds.
No?
It's the same business model across all businesses. Fair prices, quality service.
Yeah.
And meaning a quality product that you're delivering and good customer service. That's how you build customers. If I was shining shoes, my goal would be to shine shoes at a good price, deliver a good product, and be nice to the person that's paying me to do that. So when you're selling a hot dog, you're giving the person a quality product. It's wrapped nicely. The bag has a logo on it. You don't forget to put the napkins in the bag. All those little details.
Yeah.
And when you're detailing a car, it's the same thing. You want to give the customer something that they can look at and, wow, I can't believe this is my car. I hear that every day when they come pick up their vehicles.
Yeah.
So there's no secret, there's no secret formula to have a business and have that business succeed. A lot of people will open a business because they have their eye on the dollar.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. If that's the reason you open a business, just because you want to make money, that doesn't work. You open a business with the intent of delivering a quality product, whatever it is, and you put your heart into it, money becomes the byproduct.
Okay. How many locations today are open with the Dogg Haus brand?
One. We closed 9 due to COVID.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah?
Yes.
It gives you time to focus on one. And,
I had a Ferrari in the garage, and I didn't have time to see my kids or family. And I was constantly working, constantly stressed out. Less is more, believe me. When I started expanding quickly, my parents said, less is more. And I'm like, no, the American dream. And I want to keep going, and I want to have them all over the country. And I got a guy in Dubai that wants to franchise. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's time and peace are what are important, is what's important in life, especially for us men who sometimes don't let things out and we hold things in.
For sure.
Success is great, but success comes in all forms. If you're happily married, you have a peaceful home, or you have a girl, whatever, you have a significant other of some sort.
I love that you're touching base on this because, yeah, definitely.
And you have kids that respect you, or friends that are loyal to you, even if it's one friend. It doesn't have to be, 5,000 followers on Instagram. Big deal. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you go out there and ask people that for a helping hand, 99.9% will just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
But if you have true people that you stand by and they stand by you, that's wealth.
Yeah.
If you have your health, that's wealth.
Well, since we're on that basis, with the businesses you run, it's Dogg Haus and then it's Metro Car Wash and Detailing. How would you describe the culture from one to the other?
At the Dogg Haus, people can be, customers are coming in, they're tipsy. You can joke around with them. They're in a good mood. It's different in that sense. The culture. Are you talking customers? Or are you talking internally?
Just the interaction with your clientele, just the way the business is ran.
It's Dogg Haus is you walk in, you grab a hot dog, and you leave. You like it, you come back. You don't like it, you don't come back. With the detailing, I have customers that drive multi-six-figure cars.
Yeah,
and they're trusting us with their second largest investment.
Yeah.
So a mistake by forgetting to put ketchup on a hot dog is much less, it's much less of an issue versus doing something to damage somebody's paint on their car, for example, if somebody's inexperienced or things happen. Things do happen. No one's perfect. We're humans. Things happen. Mistakes happen. But when you're dealing with higher ticket items, it's higher risk.
Running businesses like this, and you went from employee to being your own boss. How was that transition for you? And what's the type of, how would you describe currently how that's going for you?
So being an employee gives you stability.
Yeah.
But there's a ceiling on top of your head where you can't grow
past it.
It's holding you down. Unless you're in a no-cap commission sales position and you're just amazing at it. Being your own boss, you can do what you want, but oftentimes the stress levels that come with being your own boss would crush, a mountain. So being an entrepreneur and owning your own business is not for everybody.
Yeah.
I will say that. The transition, however, you asked the question, from going from an employee to opening my own business. Well,
Yeah.
At the time, I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
So the energy, the ambition, the hunger to want to do something and doing it on your own,
Yeah.
even if it made less money than a corporate job, for example, in the beginning, it's okay because you're making it with your it's your hands that are in what you're doing. So for me, the transition was easy because I never really had a job where anybody was on top of me.
Yeah.
I was always in management positions, or even when I wasn't, though, I acted like I was. I was always still, even back then, come into work early, leave late. Extra shift, somebody calls in, I got it. I'm covering. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, it felt good.
Yeah.
There was a point where growing too fast, however, became too stressful because if you can't be there all the time, you have to have somebody who can be and who you trust and who you can take care of. And thankfully, I haven't had many issues with that throughout the last 19 years of being self-employed.
Yeah.
April 1st will be 20 years of me being self-employed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
But today, I'm finding myself more working on the business than in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still hands-on. I still inspect things before they leave. But I find myself today like going to my dealership accounts and, on a cold day like tomorrow, I'm planning on stopping with coffee and donuts or something, doing those things that add value to the brand.
Yeah.
And at the same time, just being me.
Well, business is business, Walk us through a normal day at the shop.
So I wake up every day around 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I go downstairs, turn on the coffee machine, go back upstairs, take a shower, get ready, wake up my kids, my son who is in the 8th grade and my daughter who's a sophomore. Around 7, they get ready. I drop them off at school and I go straight to work. So I'm usually there by 8 a.m., if not sooner. Turn on the lights, get everything going, check the equipment, make sure we have everything that we need for the day. Turn on the lights, the heat, whatever else needs to be done. And then I, between 9 and 10, I start checking in all the appointments. So that first hour of the day is the most chaotic hour of the day for me, in addition to the last hour, but I'll get to that. Once I have everything in the book, then I have the manager take over. And then I go do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's running payroll or going to the bank or running cars to a dealership or assembling a team to take vehicles with me to the dealerships. So that's the majority of the day. And then by the end of the day, people are coming to pick up their cars and whatnot, and I'm checking everybody out and showing them what we did. And at the shop, that's the typical day.
Yeah.
But now there are 2 shops. There's one block away from the original one. I just bought that building about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I separated the services. So all the high-end detailing stuff and longer ticket item stuff happens at the new building, and all the quick turnaround stuff happens at the older building.
Yeah.
So same service, 2 different locations, but everybody still checks in with me at the original one.
For sure. How do you balance that, because you want a speedy service, but you also want a quality service. So how do you manage to balance those two?
So customers sometimes will come in and they say, well, how long is this interior detailing going to take? And I say, depends on the condition of your vehicle, but anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. They're like, oh my God, that's a long time. Can't you get it done any quicker? And I say, listen, the next time you go to a steakhouse, a 5-star steakhouse, take the steak in the back and tell the chef to put it in the microwave. And they look at me and they're like, yeah, we understand.
Yeah.
Call us when it's ready.
Yeah.
Call us when it's ready.
Man. With this type of work, what do you feel at times is very challenging?
People.
Yeah.
People. Sometimes people's expectations are far too grand for how long they've neglected, their vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I would say in any business, people are the part that would be the most challenging. Thankfully, I have a really, really large and loyal group of customers. After being there for 17 years, I mean, it's just natural that it keeps building. People tell each other about it and whatnot. Husband comes in, wife wants her car done. It grows that way when people speak positively of you.
Yeah.
So people's expectations of time and how long it takes to finish the process and people's expectations of the final result. But thankfully, 99.9% of the time, we underpromise and overdeliver.
Yeah.
So it's a winning recipe.
Okay, got you. What's most important to you in the way you connect with your clients?
You know, we deal with CEOs, the Milwaukee Bucks, and somebody with a $2,000 Toyota Corolla.
Mm-hmm.
Treat them all the same.
Yeah.
You know, the basketball players come in, we don't act starstruck. We may ask for a photo.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh my God, you know, we don't do that kind of thing. And if somebody comes in with something more basic, we still treat them well.
Yeah.
I think treating people well and providing good customer service in today's world is super important because customer service is lacking across all industries in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
People are antisocial. If you walk into the grocery store, the cashier might be texting on her phone if a cashier is available.
Mm-hmm.
That's if they're available. And if you say hi, sometimes they just look at you like you're inconveniencing them for being there. So when you walk into a business and somebody greets you and creates small talk with you and provides a good product, people will come back.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel Milwaukee has attributed to your success?
Milwaukee is a small city. It's growing. But you can become a big fish in a small pond quickly because people talk. So in this city, you can become successful or unsuccessful very quickly because it's a smaller city and everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
So
I do agree with that.
that's an advantage that you have. If you have a skill, whatever it may be, even if it's making pies and you're good at it, everybody's going to find out about you eventually. And it happens quickly.
Yeah.
And I think our media, whether now it's podcasts and things like this, before it was, the paper on Milwaukee, the Business Journal. Once they grab a hold of something new, they grab it and they run with it. And then they all want to talk about it. And it becomes a big topic. And that's how everybody finds out about it because you keep it fresh in their mind.
How do you ensure the quality of each car that comes into that shop and not missing a spot and leaving that shop with customers that are satisfied?
So it's an assembly line. You have people that start whatever. Everybody has their own task.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody is good at something, and that's where they're put. I have a guy that just does windows.
Wow.
That's his job. I have another guy that does the wheels and tires. That's his job. But for the larger ticket items and larger details and things like that, either myself or a manager will do a final inspection on each and every car before we tell the customer that it's ready.
Yeah.
So everything is inspected and we know where to look, whether it's in between the seats, often forgotten area, opening the creases in leather seats to make sure there's no crumbs or anything in between those seams, cup holders, visors, things like that. Everything has to be checked over. Mm-hmm. And we have a checklist now. So we'll go through. Now we know it. But if somebody didn't, we would give them that checklist and say, look over each and every one of these things.
Yeah.
And then if there's a problem, we fix it before we call the customer.
Got you. Well, talking about services, what are the services that you provide through Metro?
So we have everything from a basic exterior wash all the way to a showroom detail, all the way to ceramic coatings, PPF, dent removal, things like that. So I'll go through the menu with you. An economy wash is pressure washing the exterior of the vehicle, washing it by hand, drying it, doing the door jambs, cleaning the wheels, dressing the tires, out the door. That's $30. We have our full service, which is inside and outside. We vacuum the car, wipe down the dashboard, door panels, center console, do the windows, wash the car inside and out, wheels, tires. That's our full service. That's inside and out. That's 40 on a car, 45 on an SUV.
How about a van?
50.
There you go.
But for you, nothing.
Hold on, my guy. Appreciate that.
You already, it's already in the bank.
There we go.
We have the step up from there. We have a package called the Presidential and Express Detail. That is, if you have a date or you're picking up clients from the airport, or you have something you want an express detail. You don't have 4 or 5 or 6 hours to wait for it. You want it done in an hour. That includes like shampooing all of your carpeting, floor mats, in addition to what I said before. And we give it a ceramic spray wax on the outside. Give it a nice little hand polish. Car comes out, better than a full service. But it's a quick detail, which is why it's called the express detail.
Yeah.
Then we have our deep interior cleaning. That's where we're shampooing the interior of the car, the seats, the carpets, going through the vents with steam, compressed air, a tornado machine. That's like a thing that creates a little tornado with we have a chemical in there to clean in between the vents, the console.
Wow.
That's the 3 to 4 hour interior job. Outside still gets washed, and that's a deep interior cleaning. We have our complete detail, which is everything that I said, with a single stage wax and buff. And then we have a showroom detail that includes the engine and a paint correction.
Wow.
So that's called the showroom detail. And then ceramic coatings, of course, we've been doing more and more lately. It's popular. It makes the car hydrophobic, chemical resistant. Things rinse off a lot easier. If you have a ceramic on your car, you can take it through a touchless car wash, and it'll come out looking better than if it isn't coated. So, and we do window tint.
Wow. There you go. All in one, man.
Yep. And if we can't do it, we outsource it to people that we trust, who will make us look good, because we would never send somebody somewhere where that company would make us look bad.
Yeah.
So we have a dent removal company that we use. We have alloy wheel repair. They do curb rims, things of that nature. So we have it all in the back pocket.
Yeah. Well, marketing is such a big part of business. And with your business in particular, you've managed to capture the attention of Milwaukee. Your business has boomed. In what ways have you marketed off your business to bring the customers and the clientele in?
So, as I said to you before, we don't work for the money. We work to make people happy.
Yeah.
The money comes later. That's fine. And there's good days and there's bad days. Not every day is a success. I don't care what business you're in. But things, for example, that we do for the community, like Milwaukee has had an enormous spree of car break-ins, and 90% of the cars don't have anything stolen out of them, but broken windows are a problem. So one day I was sitting at home right before I went to bed, and I'm like, I'm feeling bad watching all these people with busted windows. And we've been doing it for a long time, but I went on my page and I said, anybody who is a victim of a break-in, stop by, we'll clean up the glass for free for you, and we'll tape up the window. I have a shatter, it's called a shatter film that most dealerships use it for like carpeting.
Yeah.
It says dealer must remove, but it works well to cover the opening of the door, so that if it rains or snows, the car still stays dry on the inside until that person can either A, afford to get the window done, or work with their insurance, or figure out what they're going to do. But if they need to go to work or pick up their kids, you don't want your 3-year-old sitting in a pile of glass.
Yeah, for sure.
So we said, I put that out there, and it went viral. And the next day, the phone wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
In October, we did 300 cars for free. That's October.
Amazing.
200 in November.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know how many this month. I haven't calculated. I just gave up. But the break-ins are bad, but we're helping people. And you're seeing glass in child seats. You're seeing, people with little puppies. It's just, we're doing that to help the people.
Yeah.
Another thing that's super simple. Prior to this, I woke up one day, it was like minus 30-degree wind chill. I'm like, I know my tires are all going to be low. It's cold. So I went on Facebook and I said, on the East Side page, and I said, anybody that needs air in their tires, stop by and we'll put air in your tires for free without any service. Just stop by. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that showed up who were amputees, veterans, oxygen tanks, elderly, young, college girls, people that didn't even know where the air goes in the tire, And it was better than them having to go to a gas station, put 50 cents in the thing, and it's broken anyways. So doing things for the community helps market things. But in addition to that, put that to the side, and you have to be confident in the work that you're doing and deliver a product that exceeds expectations from the customers. So we 4 years ago, partnered with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Those are my customer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. They're exclusive and official detailer. We take care of their cars when they're at practice as kind of a pampering thing. The team gets food catered in for them, and they have all kinds of cool things that happen, but car washing and whatnot, that's us. We have Northwestern Mutual. That's our account. We do work for International Autos, Russ Darrow, Schlossman Honda City. We do small dealerships, Manual Motors, Diamond Gyms. Trying to think. We also do all the universities. We do UWM, all the Boss vans, Marquette University, Jesuit Priests, MSOE, all of the sports vans and the squad cars and the loaners that they give to, I don't know who they go to, but they have cars that they loan to people within the organization.
Yeah.
When Trump was in town, one of his Suburbans got stolen.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And some guy had it, smoked a bunch of weed in it, ashed right in the cup holder, and I got a call from Secret Service. And they're like, we need this cleaned up. We found it. The police found it. I took care of it for him. Didn't say anything, obviously, until now. It's over with.
Yeah.
But even the Secret Service contacted us when that happened.
That's a story. Look at Buck. You deserve that, man.
Thank you.
Helping the community out, just, being there, man. And you could tell, like, you're human.
That's it.
And
That's it. So many places take the human touch out of business that it ruins them.
Yeah.
I've done my benchmarking. I've called other detail shops. I got people, no offense to the people who's answering, but nobody in India should be answering the phone, answering questions to a local resident here about detailing. They have 99% have never, not likely have ever been here. The culture in Milwaukee has its own culture. Chicago has its own culture. New York has its own culture. And press 1 for this, press 2 for that. No, every single phone call gets forwarded to my cell phone.
Yeah.
Every single call. And the ones that I miss, they're in red. So I go back, that's red, click on it, and then I delete it.
Yeah.
So I don't miss a single phone call ever.
Well, this has been quite the career for you, man. And you're successful. You give back to the community. What for you are achievements and milestones that stand out?
Raising good kids.
Yeah. Man.
That's it. Because as I tell my wife, every day when a man leaves the house to go to work, he's fighting a war. I don't care if you're an accountant or a worker at Burger King or detailing cars. You're fighting a war. You got 8 hours or 10 hours to accomplish all the tasks that are in front of you. When you go home, you want to go home to a peaceful home. That's money. Having kids, and even if you don't have kids, but whoever you go home to, that's your peace. And if you don't have peace, you're broke.
Yeah.
So I would say that to answer that question, having a respectful family is the number 1 milestone. Number 2, having loyalty with staff and having them be able to come to me and ask me things that, whatever it is that they want to ask for, if I can help, I will. I've bought cars for employees before. Like, if I had to count, probably more than 10.
Yeah. You take care of your own. They take care of you.
Because if your internal customers are not happy, your external customers won't be happy. Look at, this is so weird to even compare to, but look at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Those workers are amazing. They don't make mistakes on your order. I don't know what they're training I don't know what their training is like. I want to go get a job at Chick-fil-A just to go through their training to find out how they get people that are so upbeat,
so happy,
on top of things. Like they don't belong there. They belong working in the ICU. Like they're just,
yeah.
I don't get it. But just looking back at, a company like that, I think it's all about the corporate culture and how you take care of your people.
Yeah. Well, going further with this, let's talk about your team. How through the businesses. So you have the Dogg Haus, you have one Metro, and then you have another Metro that's a block away.
Yeah, the people that are at both places are divided. They were all at one, and we were all squished together and didn't have room. And
how many employees altogether would you say? Right
Dogg
now?
Haus only has 3 employees.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Back when there were 5 locations around here, it was I don't even recall, maybe like 20 something.
Mm-hmm.
You only need 2 people in the front. It's think of Subway. You got a cashier and you got a person putting together the food. It's not a hard operation. So you don't need many people. And oftentimes, like now when it's slower in the winter, unless it's a weekend, I have one person running it. Mm-hmm. One person, that's all you need. For Metro in the summer when it's busy, we could have a dozen, maybe more. In the wintertime, slows down. Some people go back to school, things like that. It can be less.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'd like to get up to about 15 to 20 people. And then I think that would be maximum efficiency.
Gotcha.
But it takes time to get there.
Mm-hmm. Well, with such a successful career and successful businesses you've been a part of, what do you hope to leave as a legacy when it's all said and done?
Mike Tyson just got asked this question before his fight.
Yeah.
And he said something along the lines of that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be dead anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But good deeds go a long way. And if I had to think of anything to leave behind, it would be a family that continues, not necessarily what I'm doing now, but the same train of thought when it comes to people.
Yeah.
And how they treat them.
Well, again, you've been this model, not only a human being, but a successful entrepreneur. Where do you see these businesses in the next 5?
I got asked this question in an interview. I did end up getting the job. It was at the office sales place. The president of the company who was interviewing me says, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I said, "In your seat."
Okay, yeah.
But where do I see it? I don't have any firm plans of where I'd like it to be, because right now I'm good.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is capture more years with the family as the kids are getting older, doing more traveling, spending more time with them, creating more memories. Right now, that's what's important to me, more than the business. But you did ask a question. I would like to expand into another city.
Yeah.
I don't know what city yet, but it's going to be selfish for me because the city that I expand into is going to be a place where I would want to go and hang out from time to time. Mm-hmm. So I would have a residence there, and a business. Yep. To support the residents. Mm-hmm. And who knows? Could be Chicago, could
Miami,
could be New York.
Yeah.
I was just in Miami in March and I saw their car washes and they're pitiful.
Look at.
I did not see, I went. I took the rental car and I went to a bunch of different places.
You know why?
Just to see what they were doing, and I was like, if we did this in our city, I'd get my head cut off. Like, we went. My friend down there has an AMG Mercedes, and we took it to this car wash in Miami. The guy's standing on top of his bumper to wash his roof. I'm like,
Ooh.
we would get beat up here if we did that to somebody's car.
Yeah.
We'd get backhanded.
Yeah. But you know why? You know why it's like that down there?
I don't.
Because they don't have a metro. No, but that's awesome. You know what I mean? And that's the type of goal, like, it just goes to the character you've shown across here. You're a family man, you're an entrepreneur, but more than that, you're a human being. You care about those that are under you, as well as the clientele that walks in. We always work ourselves to this last question, and I always feel it's the most important question of the whole interview. What advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs as well as our youth?
Okay. That is the most important question. I've been through a lot. I've been successful. I've been broke. I've been through it all. It's not the problem that comes to us. It's how we deal with it. That's number one.
Yeah.
Showing up every single day is very important. You can't sit at home and be depressed, whatever it is. And you have to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just jump in, and unless you're winning the lottery, it doesn't work like that. I don't think that there is a shortcut. I really don't. I think that every person that has built something has shown up every day and given it their all. And there are days where we fail, but tomorrow's a new day and we start over. And we can't think about yesterday. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I had, last week, I had a $6,000 mistake in one day. The next day, it's a new day. It's over. That's in the past. I'm not gonna dwell over it.
Well,
so also, don't always listen to those people who you think are your friends when it comes to you becoming or doing something where they see you becoming more successful than them.
yeah.
They're going to tell you this is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that ever want to see you be better than them are your parents.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
For sure.
So if you're about to do something, don't tell people.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to speak little whispers in your ears, and it's going to make you start to think and doubt yourself.
Yeah.
And if you tell people your intentions, 90% of the time, people are like, you know what? Yeah, maybe my friend is right. Maybe he's right. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Had I listened to people, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of advice is given and it's free and everybody has it. But it doesn't mean that you should listen. You should follow your heart and your gut. And don't give up too quickly. Mm-hmm. You know, people start something and they expect to pull up in a Bentley and the second week of what they're doing. It doesn't work like that. My first job was McDonald's. I worked at Taco Bell. I worked at Cousin Subs. I sold shoes. I washed cars. I've done a bunch of things. And I'm not some successful guy like that. I'm an average guy. I work hard, and thankfully I have everything that I want. But again, listening to people, I think can really hurt you.
Yeah.
But listening to your gut is the best thing to do. And when you're young, even if you fail at something, mm-hmm. at least you tried. But if you don't try, then you failed at even trying, and you never know where that could have gone.
For sure.
And finally, I believe in something called pivot points. So one decision can change your entire life. So if you're miserable at a job, if you're unhappy at a company, you know what? Maybe it's time to move on. Because like you've probably heard this 1,000 times, a bottle of water at a gas station is 99 cents. A bottle of water at a restaurant might be $2. A bottle of water at a Las Vegas nightclub is $8.
Yeah.
It's the surroundings. It's the same bottle of water, but it's where your surroundings are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the wrong place, you need to move. And finally, you are the 5 people that surround you. Your 5 closest friends are who define you. With that being said, if you're surrounded by 5 bums, you're going to be a bum. If you're surrounded by 5 successful people, you're going to be successful.
Yeah. Man, Mazen, I truly appreciate you taking your time out, coming out here, sharing who you are. What are ways people could connect with you?
I'm still learning Instagram, but my Facebook. Facebook is usually like one of the best places to reach me. I kind of have all my contacts outside of the 7,000 phone numbers in my phone.
Yeah.
There. I can reach people quickly. I remember names. Like, I like to connect people too. So Facebook, they can always stop by the business. I'm at Metro Car Wash, 1510 North Van Buren, Monday through Saturday. Sometimes I take Sundays off. I'm not hard to get a hold of.
Yeah. Well, again, I truly appreciate you taking out your time. And I definitely, going forward, you know what I mean? You have a friend in me.
Same.
And just as you grow, I wish you nothing but continued success.
And same.
And we got to work on a collaboration. I don't know what it is, but definitely I'm all for what you do. And I'm a fan for life.
Thanks, brother. Same to you. I love what you're doing. And I think there's a lot of positive future for you. And I love what you're doing as well.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And with that being said, Spearhead out.